Namaste. Good to be in front of you at this moment of time when sustainability and climate strategy are mainstreaming into the discourse of governments, corporations, and individuals. When I was a child in my native village, we had plenty of natural capital and resource surrounding us to use. Contrary to today most modern culture of consumption, I have vivid memory of using all these natural resources with great responsibility, with great care and judiciously. Our clothes were recycled and reused within the generation. Not a single drop of water was wasted. All our waste was segregated and recycled to be reused within the local ecosystem. As a result of this collective behavior and culture of sustainability in core of our philosophy, our village was very happy place to live in, with a lot of fresh air, lot of greenery, with lot of fun and joy in harmony with natural surrounding. Many years later, I realized this green village of ours was an abbreviation in the larger world and ecosystem. Many issues like water scarcity, rising temperature, air pollution, growing amount of waste, and climate change stood testimony in the way in which our modern industrial practice have failed the planet and our future generation. I went on to study environment science and deepen my understanding on sustainability and climate strategy at university. I was able to supplement the principle of responsible behavior that I have learned as a child in my village to better explore how larger system and organization can work to make our planet much more greener and sustainable. Let me start with three pillars of sustainability. Together with my experience have made me to understand the three pillars of sustainability as a practice of today. When we think of our purpose in this battle against climate change, there is the purpose of larger system and structure, that is a dedicated agenda for the government and corporation to practice and embody sustainable practice for our future generation. The second, of course, there is a purpose of individual behind the system. As a citizen, the action we need to take in our personal capacity to ensure a better future generation. And the third, and perhaps the most important one, is the purpose of our future generation. That is developing future workforce that has sustainability as a center of their lifestyle and thinking. I am here to demystify the process of arriving at the strategy of all these three pillars of sustainability and demonstrate to you how this approach to sustainability is the only hope one to save our planet from irreversible climate damage. Let me now talk about that first pillar of sustainability, corporate and governments. I believe in equal significance to all the three pillars, contributing to the holistic and sustainable value to the organization. It is time us to look for creating value and impact for good. It is imperative to embrace these sustainability practice for creating value and impact for our better today and tomorrow. There was a time when profit making and financial stability was the only thing that mattered to the government and corporations. But as we grapple with the new normal today, organizations are not only defining sustainability as a core of their philosophy, they are putting big agenda around sustainability and monitoring success in the diverse way to include it as a part of their business operation. Take the example of Dow Jones Sustainability Index. In 1999, launched it as a World Sustainability Index. It is a family of index that was evaluating companies, thousands of companies around the globe for their performance on economic, environment and social with all that criteria of ESG. As you can see, sustainability has evolved over the year from being a mere response to environment and social issue. It has become a value creation and future-proofing the operation for the larger ecosystem and sustainable growth. Sustainability is becoming vital facet to all stakeholders, and it is something that when all stakeholders and investors are expecting and valuing it across the spectrum. In fact, company who has adopted sustainability early in 1980 are evidently rewarded for it, for both in terms of social acceptance as well as in terms of revenue stream and sustainable growth. Whether you are an apparel brand like Patagonia or you are an ethical banking system, one can see how these businesses have not sacrificed profit to be more sustainable or putting sustainability as a central principle of their business operation, but they have managed to become much more sustainable for the future. Now, let me talk about urgency of the ESG. Progressively embracing the paradigm shift of sustainability to strengthen the ESG principle is the only way to promote responsible manufacturing, diversity and inclusion, even empowering the community around us, and to move beyond that local compliance requirement. This is the decade of action. It is essential to build conducive environment. It is essential to build a stakeholder to define purpose and ensure accountability and action to drive result and contribute for the holistic development of the organizations and governments across all the spectrum of E, S and G. If you are a corporation, it is essential to devise a pragmatic, specific and time-bound agenda to drive sustainability in business operation, not only for that changing business environment and means to operate, but it also address long-term issue of sustainable growth beyond environment and social concern. And it also help enhancement of productivity and future-proofing the entire value chain. For government, it is imperative to provide a sustainable ecosystem, level playing field and incentive to foster a sustainable mindset and inclusive growth philosophy, not just for the corporations, but also for the individuals and even for all the stakeholders. With growing uncertainty, agile supply chain, changing consumer behavior and preferences, dynamic regulations and investor concern around sustainability portfolio, it is very essential for businesses and its leadership to leap forward and envisage climate action and leadership with local action. But this is the beginning, and the broad stroke of action lie with putting ESG strategy into the business operation. And that's the only way to ensure your corporations and organizations are built to last for the future and for sustainable growth. Now, let me talk about that second pillar of sustainability, and the most important, individual behind the system. While we start to unravel the unwieldy system that have gotten us to here in the first place, it is equally important to focus on the purpose of the individual, what we need to do at a personal level with our personal commitment to contribute making this planet much more greener and sustainable. The single mantra that I keep in mind for myself is to make right choice, which eventually contribute towards a sustainable consumption of resources, be it plastic, paper, water, energy, or any other material. The speed of global progress on the sustainable agenda depend on big, small, and local action. Driving the local and sustainable agenda with commitment and therefore acting on it is the need of ours. Simply embracing sustainability in all walk and talk of your life by adopting these principles. Be a responsible consumer, say no to plastic, buy local and sustainable produce, use resources efficiently, save water whatever best possible, conserve it, reduce the wastage, reduce all your waste material, any type of material you need to reduce, reuse, recycle and repurpose it whatever best possible. Now, let me talk about the third pillar of sustainability, and perhaps the most critical one is developing the future workforce. The most important learning that I have had from my experience is need to focus on developing a future generation that is focused on sustainability as a way of thinking, way of acting. Thinking back to my native village, when I was a child, I realized how crucial it was for my own personal journey to have imbibed the value of caring and responsible consumption and acting on behalf of environment at the early stage and age itself. This mindset cannot be developed by itself, and this need to be developed through deliberate and long-term action. In the same way in which we are focusing and acquainting our future workforce on digital and technology, be it smart mobile phone use, artificial intelligence, augmented reality, or machine learning. In the same way, we need to equally focus on sustainability as a horizontal layer to put the foundation for all our future generation with their passion and with their interest. It need to be developed as a core part of curriculum, not as a specialized course, because we don't need just climate specialists, but we also need engineers who are dedicated to create technology for efficient use of resources. We need scientists and innovators who are committed to address environmental and social issues through scientific and innovative solutions. We need writers who are willing to tell a story about the impact of climate change and social impact. We need lawyers who are well versed with the environmental law and create orientation around it, and so and so and so. Think about the different way in which we can shape, you can shape this climate consciousness and mold our future young mind to focus on sustainability as a philosophy. For example, we pledge to host interested student annually to come and work with us as an intern, and that will definitely expose them to the philosophy of sustainability and climate strategy. Do you think what you can create in this way? What is your larger individual purpose, which is beyond your own sustainability? I hope many more of us will take this need to move to a sustainable existence, personally and professionally, and lay out action for ourselves. It doesn't matter if they are big or small. Each step counts to protect what you have or what we have for today and for our future. In the last, I quote these lines that always inspire me for years. Swasme swalampam samajaya sorosamam, meaning a little bit for yourself and everything for others. And that's the philosophy we all need to imbibe for our sustainable tomorrow and for future growth. I hope we will take all these plays to do something around all these pillars of sustainability. See you again from a better ecosystem and sustainability philosophy than today. If it is not for us, then we can do it for our future generation and sustainable growth. Thank you. Namaste.